Welcome back to MythMode, the channel where legends evolve and hidden lore becomes crystal clear. Today, we're breaking down something many players underestimated. The God of War Valhalla DLC. Sure, it looked like a bonus roguelike mode, but in reality, Valhalla is the most important lore drop since God of War 2018. It rewrites Kratos' destiny, it breaks the rules of prophecy, and it sets the stage for the next era of the franchise. Plus, it hints at multiple future storylines that could change everything we know about God of War. Let's get into it. Valhalla isn't the afterlife, it's Kratos' trial. Valhalla in the DLC is not the Norse afterlife. It's something far more personal. It's a spiritual dimension that forms around Kratos' memories, regrets, guilt, and fears. A place where the rules of reality bend according to his inner state. This alone is huge because it implies realms can be shaped by God's consciousness. Memory can manifest as physical combat. Emotional trauma can create actual environments. Kratos' very mind can influence the universe. Valhalla is the first time we see the psychology of godhood visualized. And Kratos is forced to face something he's avoided for years. Kratos finally confronts his Greek past. For 2 entire sagas, Kratos avoided fully acknowledging who he used to be. The Ghost of Sparta, the Slayer of Olympus, the Destroyer of Greece, a man fueled by rage and tragedy. But Valhalla forces him to engage with all of it. He relives the murder of his family, his vengeance, his failures, his fear of himself, his self-hatred, his suicide attempt, couldn't somethings, and the destruction he's responsible for. And then, for the first time ever, Kratos accepts that version of himself, not as a monster, not as a curse, but as a part of him. This is the single most important character shift in the franchise. Kratos becomes whole. Kratos becomes the god of hope. The final transformation of Valhalla is something mythologically massive. Kratos embraces hope, the greatest power in Greek lore. In God of War 3, hope was the spark that allowed him to defeat Zeus. It was the power that could surpass the gods. And it was the one thing he gave back to humanity. But Valhalla reveals the truth. Kratos never truly lost that spark. By accepting his past, uniting his selves, and letting go of fear, Kratos reignites hope within himself. This changes everything because he's no longer a god of destruction. His power now comes from inspiration. His influence can spread across realms. He can uplift, not just survive. He becomes something new, a god who can reshape the future through hope, not violence. This prepares him for a new destiny far beyond the 9 realms. If you're enjoying this Valhalla deep dive, hit that like button. It helps MythMode uncover even more hidden lore. Now, let's continue. Valhalla rewrites fate and prophecy. For the entire Norse saga, prophecy was treated as unbreakable. Grow as visions, the Jotunheim shrines, the Norns' words. But Valhalla confirms something crucial. Prophecy isn't truth, it's interpretation. Valhalla repeatedly shows multiple possible deaths, multiple Kratos forms, multiple futures, multiple outcomes. The universe was never fixed. The Norns weren't omniscient. The shrines weren't fate, just perspectives. And now, Kratos has broken even those. This means Kratos' death is note inevitable. Atreus is note doomed to cause a tragedy. Prophecy can be rewritten. There is no predetermined future. For the first time in his life, Kratos is free, and that changes the franchise fundamentally. Atreus' future is now a blank page. Before the DLC, Atreus' journey seemed to be heading toward a great tragedy. Kratos' death, a cosmic catastrophe, or the release of a new pantheon. But Valhalla reframes everything. Atreus isn't destined for tragedy. He's destined for choice. The emotional hole in his heart that the Norns warned about is still there, but Atreus is no longer shackled to a catastrophic destiny. This means Atreus' actions will shape the next saga. His exploration of the giants could affect entire pantheons. His curiosity becomes the most dangerous and exciting force in the franchise. Atreus' story can now go anywhere. Kratos' new purpose, a leadership. For 2 games, Kratos had one purpose: protect Atreus. But Valhalla transforms him. Now he understands his past, his power, his role, his heart, his potential. Kratos chooses to become a leader, not a weapon, not a destroyer, not a survivor, a leader. He takes responsibility for, guiding the realms, rebuilding what was broken, inspiring instead of intimidating, becoming a symbol of peace. This sets up Kratos for something big, something no God of War protagonist has ever been. Valhalla prepares the next pantheon. Kratos is no longer tied to the Norse gods. He is no longer hunted. He has redeemed himself. He is accepted. This frees the franchise to move forward. How? Kratos can enter a new mythology on his own terms. No war, no chase, no vengeance. He can approach new pantheons as a leader, not an invader. The gods of other cultures may react to him differently, with fear, awe, or curiosity. Kratos is now powerful enough, emotionally and spiritually, to face new cosmic threats. This naturally sets up the Egyptian pantheon, which revolves around order, judgment, and divine balance. And a god like Kratos could disrupt that balance in ways the Egyptian gods cannot tolerate. Kratos will become a multiversal guardian. With Kratos now embodying hope, the strongest force in Greek myth, he may transcend pantheons entirely. He could become a protector across realms, a guardian preventing pantheon wars, a cosmic force restoring balance, a mythological constant across universes. In other words, Kratos becomes the figure gods call when their worlds are on the brink. This sets up a multiverse of mythologies, exactly what the Mask and Rift hinted at in Ragnarok. The Egyptian pantheon will fear Kratos' new power. Egyptian gods revolve around Ma'at, cosmic order, a god like Kratos who has survived 2 pantheons, carries hope, breaks prophecy, walks between worlds, would be seen as a threat to cosmic balance. Ra, Osiris, Set, they would not welcome Kratos. Not because he's an enemy, but because he is unpredictable. Kratos could disrupt the harmony Egypt depends on. This is the perfect catalyst for the next mainline game. Atreus will accidentally unseal the next pantheon. Atreus' journey in searching for giants is still ongoing, and prophecy warned. He will tear down a wall and release something terrible. Valhalla confirms he still seeks answers, but now with no prophecy restricting him, which is even more dangerous. This could lead to freeing an imprisoned pantheon, awakening a primordial entity, opening the rift, triggering a multi-realm conflict. Atreus' curiosity could shape the next saga for good or ill. The Mask and the Rift will return as multiverse anchors. Valhalla's themes align perfectly with Ragnarok's Mask, infinite possibility, facing the self, breaking destiny, seeing beyond prophecy, crossing cosmic boundaries. The Mask was not abandoned. It was set aside for a future story. Theory: the Rift becomes the gateway to the next series of pantheons, and Kratos or Atreus will use it. This ties the Greek saga, Norse saga, and future sagas together into one colossal universe. Kratos' final enemy will be himself. Valhalla shows multiple echoes of Kratos, each representing different possibilities. A popular theory suggests a future corrupted version of Kratos becomes the final antagonist, a Kratos who never healed, lost Atreus, fell to rage, became a tyrant in another realm. Valhalla's echoes hint at a multiverse of Kratos variants. One of them could be the ultimate threat. This would be the most poetic finale imaginable. What Valhalla really means. Valhalla didn't just patch up loose ends, it rewrote the entire foundation of God of War. Prophecy is broken. Hope is reborn. Kratos is transformed. Atreus is free. The next pantheon is prepared. The multiverse is open. The Mask can return. And the greatest threats are still ahead. This DLC sets up the next decade of storytelling. Thanks for watching MythMode. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. It helps keep the legends alive. Comment below. Which theory do you believe is most likely after Valhalla? Subscribe for more God of War, mythology, and deep lore content. And as always, stay mythic.